A brand new episode of To Whom It May Concern Hood Professionals is here. Welcome. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, AP, and this month we're going to talk about the things I wish I knew when I first entered into the professional field, especially within my career path. And hopefully you all can feel free to go to IG, go underneath this post, and put down some things that you wish you would have known when you were younger and first entering in. I'm sure that you all have more to add to this, so please feel free, engage, interact, because very soon it is going to mean so much when you engage and interact under the post and with the podcast. Also want to give a special shout out to all the ladies and say Happy Women's History Month for whoever you are, whatever you believe, and whatever you do. Baby, you are doing it and serving it well. And that should be celebrated. So with no further ado, let's get into it. Number one, make a first impression each day. Because each day is a new day for you to strive to do better, to get it right. If you got it wrong yesterday, that's in the past. Today is a new day. Let's move on from here and let's do better. Definitely being someone who can apologize for your mistakes and to strive to make sure that you don't do it again. So if yesterday you messed up, hey, I want to apologize for how things were played out. I can assure you that going forward, that's not something that we'll ever see again. Or if it's one of those things where say less, then just do better and let that be it. All right. Number two, confidence gets you noticed. Consistency takes you farther or further. Right. Yeah. Further. So it's like, I think like when you're younger, especially in your 20s, you have this just unadulterated confidence that's just at times downright annoying, right? When you think about it, it's just no one is more confident than a 20-something-year-old, baby. Let me just say that. So I would definitely say, yes, it's great to be confident, but you must be consistent with what you do. Like I used to think a pretty face is wonderful. Okay, pull them in with a pretty face, but you got to have something that keeps people there. So if you can just have that consistency as being that one that shows up on time, that has good time management, that is has a great personality, that turns work in on time, that meets deadlines, that rallies the team together. Like the consistency of that begins to create a lane, a niche, a positive label for you, because you then become that person that I can depend on for that. And that is an excellent asset to have to a team. Someone that you know that when you need that go-to person for a certain thing, you have that and they're going to follow through. Number three, learn to be quiet more than you speak. People don't know what you know until you need them to know. Okay? Because sometimes, like even when I tell my clients, stop answering questions that nobody asked you. Nobody asked you that, so why are you volunteering information that's not necessary at this time? Because you never know who is secretly in competition with you. And when you give them information that they want, but they don't have the gall to ask, you're now equipping them with ammunition that they need to be like, oh, okay, so I know how to play around this person, or I know this person will spill their beans. All I have to do is just show a little kindness to them and they're just spilling their whole life dreams. Be mindful of that. I would definitely these are the things I wish I knew. I definitely would tell myself, hush, talking ass. Number four, treat everyone cordial. Kindness can open doors, experience can't. All right? I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Because again, you can find yourself in places that you're not necessarily qualified, but it's about who you know. And if who you know thinks highly of you, and who you know has power and title and privilege, but they hold you in a high regard as well, honey, you're the golden goose. You are a golden goose. Number 5, emotional intelligence is key. Read a room, self-reflect, be self-aware, be empathetic. Those are the things that essentially make a great leader. Gone are the days of when an employee could talk to you any type of way and you took it because I have mouths to feed or I have a keep this roof over my head and the other. No. People have learned that I don't have to take disrespect in order to provide for myself. And especially with us millennials, we're like, who are you talking to? Oh, okay, I tell you what, let me pack this up because I know X, Y, and Z down the street is paying more. And while they might not have as much flexibility, that I know that they're not going to talk to me crazy, right? So knowing that we have moved away from those times where you pretty much just had to take stuff that was thrown at you, and now people have to, they're being self-aware, right? And knowing that I have to be mindful of how I come across to people. If I'm angry, I know that I need to step away, take a beat before I address this employee or my coworker, because I don't want this one moment in time where I'm upset to then set a precedence of I'm someone who's not capable of keeping my emotions in check. All right. So that's definitely emotional intelligence is key. Number 6, look your best at every level of your pay grade. No excuses, child. Sometimes when I think back on some of the stuff, child, I used to look a hot mess sometimes. Ooh. And now when I see, like, thinking about people who thrift or who shop in like Dollar General stores or Family Dollar or even Walmart. Walmart has definitely stepped that game up. Target can be a little pricey. But at the same time, there is something at every level that you can pull in and utilize to make you appear and seem professional and look your best. And again, it doesn't matter where you work at. These places work for everything, whether you're in an office, whether you're in a retail setting, and you definitely want to check in on those discounts or what have you not. Or if you're working in a factory, or if you're working wherever. I feel like even if you're working in some place where, I get dirty, you can put on a nice t-shirt. You can put on some jeans that have a little wornness to them without them looking, ratty tatty and all just, burnt out. I still feel like we should be doing our best no matter what, because we never know who we're going to come into contact with on a day-to-day basis. There could be somebody there who's looking for someone who is taking pride in their appearance when they're coming to work. Because if you deem your job not important enough for you to show up as your best self, why would somebody deem you important enough to be promoted or to be put in a position where it's possible you're going to have to interact and engage with external, clientele or partners and things of that nature. So I would definitely remind myself, no matter what the pay grade is, you can make it work. Clothes closets, Goodwills, all those types of things, like yard sales. Like, honestly, you can make it work no matter what. And tell you what, if you're looking for some things, hit your girl up, because I am a master at finding a good deal. Number 7, be open to feedback. There's always room for growth. I think for me, and even now, that's something that I'm having to work on, like actively, intently, purposefully. I have to work on that, because sometimes feedback can be a little scary. Because especially when you do like those evaluations where you're like, I'm extremely effective in this. And then you get it back and your supervisor is like barely effective in this session. It's just like, okay, well, if I'm scoring myself at this and my supervisor doesn't see that, perhaps I can have a conversation with my supervisor and say, okay, what is it that you're not seeing that I believe that I'm doing, and how can we rectify this? That's a great way to get feedback. It's a way for you to be able to build a relationship with your supervisor that may be very stagnant. And at least this gives your supervisor the indication that you do care about your position and you care about how you're perceived while you're there with that particular organization. And it may give them a little like, oh, okay, well, let me sit up on AP and see what she's doing. But then it goes back. Now it's time. Now it's game time. You have to perform. You have to come correct. And you have to what? Be consistent. So be mindful that what you go looking for, that you got to be ready to receive. And even if it stings a bit, it's necessary, because if you don't want to feel that again, then you know you need to get on your grind, all right, and make it real. Number 8, learn how to motivate rather than becoming frustrated with less than stellar teammates. This is definitely something your girl has had to learn to do, because it's so easy for us to become frustrated with coworkers who don't seem to have the same drive or the same outlook for your return on investments. It's like we are an investment that the organization is, is putting in on, and they're depending on us to perform at a level that helps them to reach their mission that they're claiming that they're doing, especially when dealing with clients. So I have learned that rather than getting frustrated, which usually leads to you having a less than cordial attitude or outlook with that particular teammate, it's more so to just be, be that motivator for them. Hey, I know that this at times this seems a little mundane, a little repetitive, but just know that when we meet these goals, when we meet these quotas, that ensures that the money is there this go. The money is there next go round. When it's time to re-up, the money is there. When it's time to advocate and to say why you deserve a raise, it's there. There should be no question asked, because you're giving the energy that is needed to be there in order for you to receive the increase. So I know a lot of times money motivates people. It definitely motivates me. That's why I'm going to work. I'm definitely not going to work for anything other than I like having money in my pocket, because I like being able to provide myself the lifestyle in which I live. Okay? All right. Number 9, favor ain't fair. Align yourself with who is winning and learn. Okay? Learn from who is winning. If it's not you, if it's not your season to win right now within the workplace, take a look around and see who is winning. Align yourself with them and learn from them, glean from them. Like, what is it that you've done differently? What is it? What piece to the puzzle have you found that for you right now is winning in this season? How are you able to put it into action? Like, what was it that changed for you? Like, and don't be afraid to ask questions, because believe it or not, a lot of people take that as a compliment. And a lot of people will freely, put you on game simply because they're so flattered that you would even think to come to them and ask such a thing. All right? Will get you a lot of places. Stop hating. In the words of Nicki Minaj, leave the hate train in the station, please. Okay? Leave it there. And hop on the one that's saying, hey, you winning. I want to know how you winning. I want to know, what can I learn from you? Number 10, always keep a safety net. Don't stop updating your resume. Look for professional development opportunities. Network, okay? And get you a mentor. All right? I highly, highly suggest you having a mentor of both genders, male and female. I do. Because I feel like for me, some of y'all might get mad, but for me, some of my best supervisors have been men. Men have a way within a professional setting, those who are professional, within professional setting, they just have a way of being able to keep it just that. Like, even if they are frustrated or become, a little annoyed with something, they know how to feel the moment, And maybe 5-10 minutes later, you don't see that anymore. You've seen men like playing basketball and they could have talking all this smack, this trash on the court. And once they step off the court, it's all good. Again, for mature men. So it's like I've been able to learn so much from that through the years and really wanting to like model my way after that. But I think a lot of that comes again from like emotional intelligence, self-reflection, being self-aware, and just really figuring out like, you know what? If I behave in a way that is very standoffish, that cuts off communication, I'm alienating myself. And because I don't know how other people may be triggered or deal with certain things like that, they might be like, I don't have time for that. Like, bump her. So now you've inadvertently created a long-lasting issue with a teammate, and it's going to make your progress to move forward as a collective unit that much more harder. And then more than likely when someone new comes onto the team, baby, you are good as done. You overcooked. Well done. You know how when they cutting the steak and the whole table shaking, that's you, because you have set yourself up to become a target. So I definitely say get you a mentor, definitely someone who's been in their field, or someone, again, who's winning, and they're winning in a way that isn't fraudulent, and it's not causing any harm, or they're not stepping on people to get to where they need to get to. It's that genuineness. It's that authenticity. I hate trying to say certain words. Authenticity. That people gravitate towards. And I hope that you all gravitate towards me. A lot of people say, oh, you're so smart. But yes, and guess what? I shall ruin a word. I can ruin the word. You can ask my homegirl, and I know she's listening to this. She's going to be laughing like, Lord. But it is what it is. Y'all understand what I'm saying. And guess what? I'm not afraid to try. I'm not afraid to even put myself out there, because I know I'll get it right. Because when I get off this podcast, I'm going to go and look the word up and say it a little slower, because I know I talk fast. I be eating the words up sometimes. My God. It's that Southern heritage. Yes, I'm putting it on there, and it's true. I hope that you got a lot from this list, and I hope that there's some things that you would like to contribute to said list. Please feel free. I'll definitely have a question attached to this podcast where you can, especially my Spotify users, you can go and please input what is one thing that you wish that that you know now that you would have known earlier in your career. And if there are some things that you agree with on the list, I would love to know that as well. I'm so thankful to be consistent with this podcast. And because of you all putting the podcast out there, talking about it, promoting it, sharing it, whatever may have you, it's getting more and more recognition. As always, y'all, I appreciate it. I don't take any of this lightly, that even 1, 2, 3 people listen to an episode, which I've never had that happen. We do numbers, okay? So I just want to say I'm just appreciative, because you don't have to listen to me, but you do. And for that, I am forever grateful. Please follow us over at Instagram at TWIMC_Hood Professionals. Like, share, follow, comment. Would love to have you. And remember, take care of yourself always. And to be wrong is nothing until you choose to remember it. The great Confucius. All right. And to all, have a wonderful, wonderful Women's History Month in this month of March. All right. Peace.